Are you authentic or buying the story that's been sold to you by your generation? Okay, let's talk about this. Did your parents encourage you to go to school, get a degree, your high school diploma, maybe not go to college, maybe go to technical training, get a job, and buy a house, get married, have children, have a mortgage, have a car payment on your car, paying lights, gas, electricity? Or, like myself, I told my daughter to go spend a year overseas. She didn't do it. She didn't do it because she was buying the story for the generation. She's got a $400,000 or $500,000 home, beautiful place, beautiful, gorgeous home, acre of ground, quiet, safe neighborhood. She's the president of a college, husband, cats, just all of what the generation, a 401k, big plans for retirement. And yeah, what's going on in the world? And does she have a big savings? No, she has, I think she still has some reserve from a house that she sold, but it's really tough. It's really, really tough to follow what we're told to do. And I want to tell you that because it's the truth. I didn't. I didn't follow it. I swear to you, I didn't. Married several times, divorced several times, always married the alcoholic that my mother was. She was the only one I really lived with most of the time. And so when you are a child, an infant, 0 to 3 is when your brain develops fully. 0 to 4 is when you're usually at home, and then you go off to school. I didn't go to school till I was 5. I went to kindergarten at 5. Don't ask me why my mother did that, but she did. Well, it's because we were moving so much, and some schools hold you back. They want you to start at 5. So my really deeply ingrained education was to live with a neurotic, alcoholic, very, very aggressive, beat me a lot. I never pleased her. And to have an intermittent visit with my father, and it was so different, but he beat me too. So what did I do? I married alcoholic men and beat me. I mean, that's what you do. And you have to forgive yourself if you repeat what you were taught at home. And I had very little school teaching me anything because I was moving all the time. So I've come to forgive myself. I didn't used to. Oh, gosh, I've been in so many therapist rooms saying, I feel guilty all the time. I don't know what in the world I did. Well, what I did was I wasn't born a boy, and that's what my mother wanted. And now, of course, I could have, well, not at 80 years old. You don't change your life in 80 years, change your gender in 80 years. But I understand the sensation, the feeling, the drive, the pull, the addiction to become another gender. Makes total sense to me because I had the addiction to be a workaholic, the addiction to go nuts with alcohol. I'm not alcohol, nicotine. I went mildly crazy with alcohol, but I've stopped that too. And I've changed my life. I'm still a workaholic, but I've changed my life in so many ways after finding out that pattern, that got to put my glasses back on again to say it exactly the same way as I said it to you before. Are you authentic or buying the acceptable story sold to your generation? Of course it was sold to your generation. You know, you were Generation X or Generation A, And that's what everybody was doing, was buying a house and having a family. Okay, but that's not the best option, given what's happened now. People have good jobs, good educations, tons of experience. And what, 22,000 or 2 million, it depends on which article you read online, says that those people have been laid off, especially under the present administration, because Elon Musk cut way back on government services. Gosh, it's so hard to really put into this brain, this old brain where military, my dad was military. I got sick, I went to the hospital. That's all there was to it. Emergency room, they took care of me, decided on whether I needed to be in the hospital or not. They worked on me all the time because I had rheumatic fever, and it was over and over and over going in there. And then I stepped on a nail, he rushed me to the hospital. Things were taken care of. And basic things were taken care of. Old people were on Social Security. Old people were taken care of. So many government services, nice roads. I mean, there were just good bridges. All the infrastructure in the United States when I was a child. I couldn't imagine things being not well cared for. And we used to put up a tent on the side of the road and camp because my dad didn't want to spend money on hotel that he was given by the military because we were moving again. And there was never any concern about somebody bothering us. The old style was put on your gloves and go to town in a nice dress and dress up. And hippies were really, really looked down on in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Oh my gosh, so looked down on. But here in Vilcabamba, Ecuador, I live in Malacatos, but Vilcabamba is the next village over. There are always young people there with backpacks on, with their sleeping gear, and they're sleeping on the side of the park and the benches. There's no problem with that. That's the name of the game there. And yet, you talk to those kids, and oh my gosh, they've been everywhere, they've seen everything, they're living the life, they're finding out what life's all about, they're learning things I wish I knew at 20. I wish I understood at 20. And they're all 20 to 30, and they're really picking it up. And those that aren't hippies are going off to all kinds of farming programs, especially organic farming programs, permaculture programs, all kinds of programs all over the world, learning about life before they decide what they want to do. And you know why that's so important? Because we've realized the brain doesn't develop its logic until after the age of 24. I mean, why do you think they won't let you have insurance on a car until 25? That's why, because they know that you don't have a logic brain. So why not get out of high school and go out and see the world and learn all the things that maybe not all the things I've learned, because I've been on the planet a long time. 8 decades is a long time. But I've learned so much. The wisdom is just, oh gosh, it just pours in, especially, and never forget this, especially when you're in a different place than where you were born or where you grew up. Because we have 5 senses, and every single one, well, maybe not, yeah, touch, because some people will hug you and some people won't. So you're gonna hear things you haven't heard, see things you haven't heard, smell things you've not smelled, taste, the food, different foods that you haven't had, and possibly touch things that are new to you. And so your learning is accelerated when you go to a different place. When you go someplace you've never been before, your learning just takes off. And so you pick it up so quickly. So even if you don't just go off to see the world. If you take vacations and really go someplace different. I mean, I talk to so many people, oh, I haven't had a vacation in years. Well, I haven't had a vacation in years, but I had enough of them before I retired. So I've seen so much. I knew what I wanted. I wanted to be on a farm, a place where I could grow all year round, where the temperature didn't swing so much, where the people were just simple farmers, not people who were push to earn money, but just loving families, nice folks, polite folks. Yeah. So I was here today to make sure you knew that following the path of high mortgages and all that is just making a mess of the United States. We have, and I'm told that Europe is having the same problems with people not being able to pay their mortgages, not having enough money for food, not having enough quantity of food. There's so many people homeless in the States, and those that aren't homeless are working out of vehicles. They're living out of a vehicle. They drive the vehicle to work, and that's also their home and their bedroom. And it's a terrible mess because people can't pay rent. Because when people's mortgages went down, when they couldn't pay their mortgages, the houses were sold for a little of nothing, and the very, very wealthy bottom, and started charging exorbitant amounts of rent. Because renters are migratory, and so they figure they're going to do something awful to the house, which is, of course, an urban myth. There's all these myths out there, and they make it hard for everybody. But if you followed the plan that everybody else follows, don't expect to have things go your way. My daughter is absolutely convinced she's going to have a wonderful retirement because she's planned for years and years and years, and life has changed because the White House doesn't care if anybody retires, doesn't care if anybody has a home to live in, doesn't care if anybody has food to eat. And that's the truth. I'm here to tell you the truth. And if you don't believe me, go and interview a few of those homeless people who had good jobs, or interview a few people dwelling in cars and still having a decent job, but they can't afford the rent. If you got any questions for me, you can ask me down here, or you can wait till the end of my video and go to my school and find out where you can talk to me 4 times a week. Thank you.